I recently won the Olivier Award for Best Supporting Actor, and I can honestly say that none of it would have been possible without Jonathan Goodwin. He's the reason I am not only the actor, creative and professional that I am, but also has a lot to do with the person I am. He was my mentor and director at youth theatre, and his passion and kindness and his ability to find what the individual needed.
I met him as a pretty vulnerable young person, and he offered me a safe space in a creative industry that I had no idea would end up being my thing. That is my thing. This man has impacted my life in 3 million ways. I cannot be more grateful.
I was a kid that had nothing going for him really. I had no aim, I had no drive. I struggled with behavioural issues at school, and Jonathan took me aside and saw something in me and showed me drama. I was totally hooked. Every single other teacher in my life kind of gave up on me, but Jonathan didn't. I've gone from strength to strength, and although the acting industry is really hard, my whole foundation of acting starts with the ethos of hard work, passion, determination and inquisitiveness, and that all stems from my experience with Jonathan.
When he taught me about going into drama schools and doing acting, and I didn't know anything about that. I remember going into and confiding him and saying my parents didn't really want me to get into it, but once they saw one of the shows that Jonathan helped me with, they understand why I loved doing it so much. He'd generally go above and beyond to help any of his pupils that he would work with.
He is both inspiring and humble. He spots talent in young people who are otherwise ignored or underestimated, and he pushes them to world-class excellence, inspiring them to be the best that they can be. But he does this whilst creating a community around himself, a community of empathy, optimism, kindness and support.
He learns the person first. Jonathan found me at my lowest point, and I'm not exaggerating when I say he changed my life. He taught me that I could be an actor. He taught me what it was to be one, for real. What it was to learn from the incredible people around me.
His teaching not only made me a better actor, a better performer, but also a better person. He put so much emphasis on working as you as a human being and what you could achieve, and achieving the absolute best that you can through making you into a better, more well-rounded person. And I actually think that he's taught me over the course of my career more about, you know, the business and the industry and what it is to be in this industry than anyone that I've ever had.
And he tries to nurture and encourage that authenticity in his performers. He taught me as a person how to focus, how to work hard and how to collaborate.
He was so inspiring, so passionate, so human, so kind and caring. He listened, and from there I learnt about drama school, and I went on to train, and I'm just about to step out and perform in my band to a 3,000 capacity sold out venue in the States. And I honestly put it back to Jonathan. He is an incredibly generous and inspiring human, but he also sees you as human and not just a student, which is the most inspiring thing, particularly in the arts.
My ethos is based on a student-centred learning approach, fostering a more personalised and learning environment. Guiding and mentoring students supports them to develop as individuals and artists. It encourages the growth of creativity, self-expression, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, qualities crucial for the success in the performing arts. There should be creative freedom that encourages risk-taking, to think outside the box. This is where originality and innovation happens. It's a space to explore unique artistic voices, where they can develop a sense of self-expression and creativity. Students must learn to assess their work, identify areas for growth and set goals. Adaptability and resilience prepare students to handle setbacks, embrace change, and navigate the ups and downs of their artistic careers. I believe I have demonstrated over the decades that my ethos can create a transformative learning experience. By focusing on student-centred approaches, practical applications, collaboration and personal growth, an effective ethos can empower students to excel as artists while also fostering a deep appreciation for their chosen art form. Your position on the org chart doesn't make you a leader. Your title doesn't make you a leader. Leadership has nothing to do with your status or your salary. Leadership has precious little to do with authority, management acumen, or even being in charge. Leadership is about people inspiring people to believe that the impossible is possible. Developing and building confidence in people to perform at heights they never imagined.
I found working with him an absolute delight because he's a solution-focused, creative, innovative problem solver, and he puts the student at the heart of every decision that he makes. At the same time, he has a wonderful way with staff, he's empathetic, emotionally intelligent, and really thinks about the well-being of everyone in the organisation. On top of that, he is a fantastic practitioner in his own right, and I miss working with him.
What I really admire about Jonathan Goodwin's leadership is his ability to balance his empathy and his sense of nurturing and supporting students with a real rigour and a value in education and creativity. He also has a wonderful way of attending to individual needs as well as a holistic sense of the culture in which education and young people can be creative. And that makes everyone, staff, students, feel hugely positive and valued, and creates a real culture of safety and creativity and positivity in which everyone can thrive and be their best selves.
I was lucky enough to work under the leadership of Jonathan Goodwin for 10 years. He taught me how to be a teacher. He taught me how to be a leader. He's amazing. And it was my good fortune to work at his side.
Jonathan excels in everything he contributes to, works hard to elicit exceptional creativity in an environment of mutual respect, support, inclusivity and understanding. He listens carefully and actively contributes to the success of everything he works on.
He is able to look at a situation from many different angles. He gets on with people, understands the situation, and then can problem solve, come up with a range of strategies, and then is really good at taking a decision and implementing that strategy.
Jonathan is a man of high integrity with a fierce, frighteningly fierce work ethic. He wants everyone to achieve the very best that they can. And he will do that through collaboration. You are part of that process.
I've known Jonathan for some 17 years when he was artistic director and head of performing arts at Haywards Heath College, where my son attended. So I got to know him, and we were clearly on the same page, artistically and creatively. And over the time my son was at the school, I became involved in the drama work that Jonathan was doing, and I wanted to support it in some way, and he felt that the best way I could do that was to get involved with the students and talk about acting and the world that I was involved in from my very particular and unique point of view. But the reason I wanted to do that was because I really saw and appreciated and respected what Jonathan was doing with the students. The productions they did there were really quite phenomenal. I remember going to see a production of A Christmas Carol, and being absolutely blown away by the standard of the work. And clearly the students all adored him. He spoke sense, he knew his stuff, and I couldn't have gone and endorsed his work if I hadn't have felt that he was someone who was really talking the same language as me.
Leadership, I have learned, is a delicate dance between guidance and empowerment. A symphony of mentorship and inspiration that orchestrates a collective shift in mindset and behaviour. A leader's canvas is not a static one. It evolves and adapts to the changing dynamics of the environment and the needs of the individuals they lead. In essence, a true leader is akin to an artisan who expertly crafts the intricate contours of character within individuals and cultivates the very fabric of cultural identity within an organisation. Different situations may call for different leadership styles. I believe I am an effective leader because I can adapt my approach based on the needs of the situation and the individuals that I am leading. The UK is a global leader in the creative industries. It is a creative powerhouse. In 2020, the UK government revealed that the creative industries contributed this much to the nation's economy. The sector continues to grow at a rate that exceeds the national average growth rate by a factor of 5. With its significant strengths in research and development, the UK is a global driving force for innovation in the creative industries. It also boasts a highly skilled workforce in the industry. This skilled workforce is recognised in the video gaming industry, where the UK is the leading video game market in Europe and the 6th largest globally. With the global video game industry forecast to be worth 20 billion by 2025, there is enormous potential for performing artists in this sector. The other obvious sector is television and film production. There's a high demand for British-made television and film. As part of the BFI 2022 Future Film Skills Plan, the British Film Institute and the Screen Skills have worked together to create 30,000 new jobs, with a plan to train 10,000 people to meet the demands over the next 5 years. In 2020, the spend on high-end British television was 1.5 billion, forecast to reach 6 billion over the next few years. In June this year, the government and various creative sector organisations released their 10-year vision for the future of the creative industries for the UK economy and into the global market. The report sets out a shared ambition for the UK government and the industry to grow the creative industries by £50 billion and create 1 million extra jobs by 2020, and confirms that the creative industries as a high growth priority sector. There are 3 goals. Goal 1. Grow creative clusters across the UK, adding 50 billion more to gross value added. Goal 2. Build a highly skilled, productive and inclusive workforce for the future, supporting 1 million more jobs across the UK. Goal 3. Maximise the positive impact of the creative industries on individuals and communities, the environment and the UK's global standing. I'd like to share some of the data which this report reveals. There's one further report that I'd like to share. This looks at the global creative economy. As highlighted in the United Nations General Assembly, the creative economy is contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals in multiple ways, especially to the following goals. The culture sector accounts for 3.1% of the global gross domestic product. In addition, the culture and creative industries produce 6.2% of all employment, generating nearly 50 million jobs worldwide, and employs more young people, 15 to 29-year-olds, than any other sector. The report states that the creative economy promotes social inclusion, cultural diversity, and human development. So the future looks bright for the performing arts. But what are the future trends? What's the current trajectories and the emerging technologies? Here are some thoughts. The future of the performing arts will likely be shaped by a complex interplay of technological advancements, societal changes, and artistic innovations. The key will be finding a balance between embracing new technologies and preserving the fundamental essence of human expression and connection that defines the performing arts. I believe BIM University is perfectly placed to be at the epicenter for driving the performing arts. Its research and enterprise strategy aligns with the national picture. BIM University can create a unique experience of cross-discipline collaboration with the performing arts, music, television and film. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'd like to leave you with one thought.